badass that I am, I've won and beaten all of my possible candidates for this belt. So that being said, I'm going to put up an open challenge to anyone who thinks they're badass enough to beat me for this belt. Anyone at all. I'll be in the ring waiting. You and me.
Last week, Superkick'd champion Solo Ali responded to Chris Chambers. Also, the Queen of the Six, Taylor Rising, was in action. And after making short work of Anna, the Queen would then become the badass, leading to her open challenge. Also, Jesse V, who would slide into his DMs, none other than Tony Adams. And boy, did it get weird. The road to the key to the city continued. And in a triple threat match, it would be Bruce James against Blake against the Diamond Tiger Kobe Durst. And after a missed Bruce Spring stump, it would be the Diamond Tiger hitting the Diamond Driver, picking up the 1, 2, 3, and advancing to key to the city. Later, it would be the Golden Gun Mark Wheeler against one half of the Kings of the Six, Dallas Kyle. Dallas Kyle would hit hard and would hit often. But it would be the experience and this reverse DDT that would lead Mark Wheeler to victory. This is Superkick'd Unlisted! We kicked off this week's episode of Superkick'd Unlisted with an open challenge from that woman right there, the Queen, the badass. And that the sound of that music can mean only one of three options, and of course it would be Blake coming out here to answer, to be the first to answer the open challenge by the badass champion, the Queen of the Six, Taylor Rising. It's gonna be Queen meets King here, obviously. Unbelievable. We are gonna have Blake versus Taylor Rising, kicking things off here at Superkick'd Unlisted. Oh, Blake! From out of nowhere! What a forearm! But hey, wait a second. Oh wait, I think Taylor Rising, she's out. Taylor Rising is out cold.
Badass, right?
And now Blake stomping away on the Queen, on the badass. I think the referee's gonna stop this match here. Taylor Rising, she could be seriously hurt here. We are gonna have to get the officials out here to check on Taylor Rising, who hasn't moved. Blake with a cheap shot. Unbelievable.
Fucking weak.
Dang, you look good. Who looks good? Come on, you look good. Are they ready for this? They're not ready for this. Come on, they can't handle you. Who's ready for it? They're not ready for it. Come on, just look at yourself. Ah, come on, who's got it? You got it. Now, where is this building?
We are back, and Taylor Rising has finally come to here after that cheap shot, I'm gonna call it, by Blake. A forearm right to the side of the head, knocking out Taylor Rising. But good to see the Queen, the badass, back on her feet. But coming up now, it is my man right here, the future Superkick'd champion in waiting, the Terminator, Jesse V. Coming off of a tough loss against Mike Marston, Jesse V obviously not qualified for the key to the city. But he's gonna make up for that here tonight against Darius King. And of course, last week, Jesse V having Tony Adams slide into his DMs. And of course, Tony Adams has an upcoming date with Stratosphere, a boxing match. But we get back to the action in the ring right now. We've got Jesse V, Darrius King locking up, and Jesse V driving Darrius King into the corner. Jesse V, arguably one of the biggest superstars in professional wrestling. And this Darrius King is no slouch. Once again, Jesse V driving Darrius King into the corner. Jesse V now, Darrius King walking up for, Darrius King going right to the side headlock. Jesse V though, powering out of it. Charges and a shoulder tackle running right through Darrius King. Big forearm to the side of the head now. Follows it up with a second. Jesse V hitting the ropes. Darrius King dropping under. Leapfrog over the top goes Darrius King. Hip, go! Jesse V, belly to belly. Countered by Darrius King. Driving his head right to the chest of Jesse V. Super kick to the gut. Kick to the jaw. And now Darrius King follows up with an uppercut. Darrius King, Jesse V caught that move. Reverse heel kick. What a move from out of nowhere by Darrius King. Charging now, Jesse V countering. Darrius King charges again, and another shoulder tackle by Jesse V. A chop now by Darrius King. Darrius King says he's got, no, you don't. You don't have Jesse V. Jesse V's got you. Driving Darrius King to the mat. And as big as this Darrius King is, Jesse V has that wrestling buddy power. And that is, he'll toss you around the ring like an old wrestling buddy. Like an old plush doll. He'll take a grown man and toss him around the ring like a plush toy. Jesse V now with Darrius King. Suplex, up and over goes Darrius King. Feeling the effects of that. The pain on his face. Jesse V withstanding that flurry by Darrius King early on and now in full control. Jesse V, Irish whip. Ducks. Darrius King with a kick. A jab to the gut. And another. Jesse V though fighting back, sending Darrius King into the corner. Jesse V charges. Darrius King got the boot up. Darrius King now from the middle rope. Leaps. Double axe handle. No, caught by Jesse V. Unbelievable power and strength. Jesse V now just driving those fists right to the skull of Darrius King. Forearm right to the side of the head, scooping up Darrius King, planting him in the center of the ring. Jesse V now foot over the chest. Little arrogant cover by my man here. Jesse V now, splash. No, Darrius King got the knees up. And to his credit, Darrius King has done everything he can to stay in this match. He has had a counter from Jesse V. Can he capitalize? Can he get the 3 count? It's Darrius King now just throwing those punches and jabs right at Jesse V. Hurricane Rana! What agility by Darrius King. Drop kick takes Jesse V down to one knee.
Let's go!
Darrius King now, the adrenaline pumping through his veins. Driving the knee to the... No, Jesse V's got him once again. Spine buster. Human deadlift coming up. Power bomb. That's it. Jesse V back into the win column with an impressive victory here over Darrius King. Jesse V, an impressive victory here at Superkick'd Unlisted. And what does the future have in store for the Terminator here at Superkick'd? Perhaps an opportunity at the Superkick'd Championship is down the line.
Focus on the finish and keep my head steady breathing.
Solo, my man. You should check it out. There's like one dumb bitch, right? Calls herself the badass champion. You know what I gave her? Badass ass whooping. She wants to have a fucking open chat. Hold on, homie. Can I help you, Frenchie?
Tu parles de qui?
Huh? I don't speak French, bro.
Tu parles de qui?
Bro. I don't speak French. I don't speak
Comment tu l'as appelé? Never again.
Yo, Mom. Call 911, your baby boy's hurt. Yes, I know I didn't call you back for a while. Just call 911. Get a bed out. Fucked up my back.
Mike Marston, the Reaper, coming to the aid of his former friend, girlfriend, Taylor Rising, the queen, the badass, things you love to see. Good on Mike Marston for sticking up for Taylor Rising here when she couldn't fight for herself. That being said, the future. I'm looking forward to a Taylor Rising Blake match somewhere down the line where she can get her revenge. Coming up next, though, we do have Mike Marston. He'll be facing Bruce James. And as I've said multiple times now about Bruce James, I mean, the boxing is all catching up to him. A career that is on life support here at the moment at Superkick'd. And that road now is leading into this man, the Reaper Mike Marston. Is he here to collect the career and the soul of Bruce James on his way to Key to the City, the first man to qualify?
Bring the bell.
Bell is rung here. It does. Mike Marston now maybe even have to start looking over his shoulder. Because after attacking Blake like that, you gotta think it's not just gonna be Blake's mama. It's gonna be Solo Ali and Blake's partner, Dallas Kyle. Maybe coming after Mike Marston. Maybe they don't fear the Reaper. We'll have to wait and see. Marston, though, Bruce James locking up, and there's the power of Mike Marston. And Bruce James is gonna have to do better. And his friend, Homeless Brooks, giving him some support, some guidance.
All day, all night.
Bruce James going underneath Marston now. Waist lock. And it's Mike Marston, though. Oh, what a kick. Oh, no, it's Bruce James just narrowly sidestepping that boot. Bruce James now. James once again going for that waistlock. Will we see a counter? Marston into a side headlock.
That's it, ref.
You can hear Homeless Brooks at ringside. I don't think that's French. Dumpster French, maybe. Bruce James trying to shoot Mike Marston into the ropes, but Marston holding on with the side headlock. And now Bruce James, a distracted Marston, and Bruce James capitalizes. Marston now, Bruce James up and over, into a side headlock still. Bruce James doing everything he can here in this match. Marston finally breaking the side headlock, connecting with a big boot, almost decapitating Bruce James. Bruce James seeing stars here. And it's Marston now with Bruce James setting up. Suplex by Mike Marston coming up, and over the hard way for Bruce James. Marston can't get distracted here. Marston, slingshot over the top. Now onto the ring apron, drops the leg across the back. You can hear Bruce James is back. Hooking the leg, Marston. Bruce James still kicking out, still showing that fight. Marston, what a right hand.
Let's go, Bruce. Get up.
It's Marston, almost like a school teacher here, taking Bruce James to school.
Let's go, Bruce.
You gotta wonder, is Tony Adams watching on? Mike Marston, what an Irish whip. Bruce James is out of it. Marston charges, big forearm, right to the throat.
He's good.
Marston, what an Irish whip again. Charging, this time misses. Bruce James just narrowly ducking that big boot again. Enziguri by Bruce James, and that takes Marston down to one knee. Bruce James now in the corner. Up. Hurricane Run out of the corner. Now it's Marston on his heels a bit. Misses with that boot again. Bruce James showing the agility. Shoulder to the gut. Bruce James now. Slingshot. Leaping. Corkscrew uppercut. Going for the cover. Hooks both legs. Referee 2. No, Marston kicking out. And it's Marston now. Down and out in this match. Bruce James. Super kick. No, Marston caught it. Marston blocked it. Ducks a clothesline. Marston now with Bruce James. Sidewalk slam. Hooks the leg. 2. But it's Bruce James kicking out. Marston now scooping up Bruce James. Tombstone coming up to finish it. Marston now hooking the leg to bury Bruce James. And that's it. Mike Marston, victorious here at Superkick'd Unlisted. Further sending Bruce James to the depths of hell here at Superkick'd. And for Mike Marston on his road to the key to the city, a tune-up. For Mike Marston, hell-bent on being Superkick'd champion. And it's Homeless Brooks now, trying to help Bruce James out of the ringside area, and just inadvertently struck Bruce James's head against the ring post. That's all for this week. We hope you've enjoyed this episode of Superkick'd Unlisted. We'll see you all again next week.